All right, gang, we're back. Episode 9. I can't believe it. We made 9 episodes. This is the second one we've done with Asheville Music and Revolution after the hurricane. So it's the second one, and we're still recovering. And today I'm honored to have as my guest Meschiya Lake, and I'm going to read a quote from the New Yorker about her. Meschiya Lake rocks back on her heels, lifts her chest and opens her throat like an air raid siren to croon in a pre-microphone style that can make you feel as though you were shivering under a campfire on a railroad yard or drinking in a Budapest nightclub in 1938. I have to admit, I've never been to Budapest, but it makes me want to go. Meschiya Lake, welcome to Asheville Music and Revolution.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, you know, I listened to a little bit of your stuff. Andrew Fletcher, who's my pal, told me about you.
He's awesome.
And, you know, heard you on, on the YouTube or a Facebook thing, and I thought, one time I was at the New York Philharmonic, and it's where they have actually their opera, and the hall has no microphones. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but the opera stars actually sing without mics, with a full orchestra. And I thought, you could pull that off.
I've done that.
Really?
Actually, yeah, I've gotten a couple of opportunities to do that actually, and it was thrilling.
Yeah.
It was thrilling. Benaroya Hall in Seattle with I don't remember how many people were in the orchestra, 16?
Yeah.
18? I don't remember. It was many years ago. But they were doing a pre-microphone era exhibition, primarily blues, so I got to sing a lot of Bessie Smith and really just belt it out. And I had been belting it out on Royal Street for a couple of years at that point.
That's in New Orleans.
Sometimes above a 13-year...
That's in Orleans,
yes,
right?
New Orleans. Sometimes above a 13-piece jazz band, but never with the acoustics that are like designed for that. So it was a thrilling experience. It was really lovely.
Yeah, well, I'm really impressed with people who don't need microphones.
Well, I don't need it, but I like it because you can do different things.
Yeah.
You know, a voice is an instrument, and you know, unlike any other, it's inside your body. So I sought out voice lessons in 2008 or 2009 after I've been singing on the street for a few years. I've been singing professionally since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
At that time I was 27, 28.
And I
started to lose my voice, so
yeah.
Even though I was focusing on traditional New Orleans jazz at the time, I decided to take lessons with a classical singer to learn how to use my body more like the masters, I guess you could say. Maria Callas is another one of my big influences. So
Yeah.
I thought that I'd seek out like the vocal classical mastery technique rather than, because like jazz inflections and things like that, I wanted to learn what to do with my body to preserve my instrument so it wouldn't leave me.
Yeah. So I noticed you started off in a Nebraska steakhouse.
South Dakota.
Oh, South Dakota.
Big difference.
Oh, it was. Maybe I got it wrong. So you're from South Dakota?
I was born in Southern Oregon, but
Southern Oregon.
formative years were in South Dakota. We moved there when I was about 8 years old.
And so, how old? You 9 years old when you first had your first public
8 or 9
sing?
when I got my first gig. Yeah.
And I heard everybody was like, "Oh, she's cute," and you went there and you won like a $500.
Yeah, it was a all-adult singing contest, and my mom was recently divorced, so she'd take me and my sister with her to the South Dakota Opry, which was at the Elk Creek Steakhouse and Lounge. This band called the Wilt Brothers played. They're still together, still playing in South Dakota. And so we were kind of a fixture of the place. And then one night they were having this all-adults singing contest. The prize was $500 and a regular gig. And so they waived the entry fee for me because they're like, "Oh, cute little Missy." They called me Missy back then, little Meschiya Lake. And they were very surprised at what came out of my mouth, and I won.
That's so great.
I won the $500 and I won a job, and I did that until I was about 13, and I started getting into politics and punk rock, and country music wasn't cool anymore.
Yeah.
Now I've come kind of back around full circle.
Okay, so you're here. How long have you been in Asheville?
A year and a half.
Year and a half, just about like me. I've been here 2 years.
Okay, yeah.
And what brought you to Asheville?
Many reasons. It was a climate haven.
Climate haven.
Yeah, well, I thought so. I lived in New Orleans.
Okay.
Lived in New Orleans
God,
for 23
it's like 30
years.
degrees today.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be hurricane safe, or at least we all thought so.
Hurricane safe.
Yeah, because I was in New Orleans for 23 years, and I'd have to evacuate my family.
Oh,
now I have a
yeah.
7-year-old daughter,
and
we'd have to evacuate every year, every 2 years, not knowing if you'd have a home to come back to.
Were
So
you
there
there
were
for
other
Katrina?
factors. But yes, I was raking blueberries in Maine. I lived in New Orleans in the winter time. So blueberries happened, well, I was doing it in August, and they were letting people back into the city in October, and that's when I went back. And it was,
okay. So you were in New Orleans for how many years?
23.
23.
Home base. I
Wow.
traveled a lot.
And you travel. I noticed you went to Europe and you had a band, and you've done all types of music, jazz and traditional New Orleans, and
country, psychedelic rock. I have a disco band in New Orleans also.
Yeah.
I like music.
Do you still make a living playing music?
I do, oddly enough, even though I've only been here a year and a half. Like, it still pays the bills, or at least did before the hurricane.
Yeah,
I've been very grateful for some jazz grants and different disaster grants I've gotten during this time to be able to pay the rent.
That's fantastic. I always admire people who can make a living playing music, because I started trying to do that when I was 20, 21 years old, and I gave up and went to law school.
Well, my standards of living are very low.
Yeah,
so.
I bet. Yeah.
I don't need much.
Yeah, well, and
but,
and you have your mom too.
Yeah, single mom to a wonderful 7-year-old girl.
Yeah,
almost 8.
that's awesome.
Another reason for moving here was the school system.
The name of your daughter. I don't forget it. We won't say her name on.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
S.A.
I
or
just
her
remember
initials.
that. I remember that. So, welcome to Asheville. We're really glad to have you here. I heard about you from my friend Andrew Fletcher, who I met. We're both advocates for busking.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Andrew. I've been a free lawyer for buskers for years, and I've been helping people out here on the streets. And also I've, since Hurricane Helene, I've been helping musicians just generally with rent issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're out there,
Free of charge, by the way, and I still do that, so give me a call.
That's
if
wonderful.
you need me.
I can't believe people are being evicted when their livelihood's been
Totally crazy.
taken out from under them.
Totally crazy. I mean, yeah. So you've been all over the place, and I noticed that you just consider yourself a real badass.
Well,
you like to be. You talked about you play with misfits and lowlifes and stuff like that.
I mean, liner notes are designed. It's
okay.
It's promotional.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that's what I think about myself personally.
Yeah. No, but I like the fact that you consider yourself weird.
You have to. Oh well, I mean that's a given.
Yeah.
It didn't take long to figure that out.
I've been an activist for years. We talked a little bit about this before the show, and you said, well, so am I.
Yeah.
And
first time I went to jail was at a protest for Meschiya Abu Jamal. I was 19 years old.
Okay. So how does your mission or want to change the world, how does that infiltrate your music?
Hopefully it permeates everything.
Permeates, yeah.
Just with the sounds that come out of my mouth, definitely with what I say between the songs. There's a lot of grief wrapped up, for me especially, in living in a misogynist, patriarchal, capitalist society. Unfortunately, I've heard this been said that a lot of great music comes out of oppression, but I think we haven't had the opportunity to see what kind of music could come out of it if we weren't oppressed. I'd really like to live in a world where we could see that.
Yeah.
Where human needs are met. You don't have to worry about survival. You've got food, you've got a roof over your head. Like, you don't have to worry about fighting for your rights if you're a woman or a person of color or, anything that's not a white male,
Yeah.
And that's not to say all white males are bad, but that is who is controlling the world and who has decimated very nearly decimated most Aboriginal societies for money and for profit, and are destroying the very planet that we live on. It's a very grief-stricken thing for me. So I got most known for making my living doing anywhere from 1890s to 1930s jazz. My focus was, or still is, primarily on the music of the oppressed. Music got people through unimaginable times. There's a field spiritual song that I really like to sing called "Satan, Your Kingdom Must Come Down," that unfortunately, I'm getting to dedicate to Donald Trump again.
We hate to even mention that word.
I know, it's a dirty word. Sorry, edit that out.
It gives me anxiety every time I hear it.
You know what, I haven't even begun to process it yet.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, there's so much else going on, and then that hit, and I was just like, I think I finally had some bad dreams about it last night and slept pretty horribly. But
when I was always wondered with music, I know some musicians like, I don't mix politics with music, and
music is inherently political. I mean, even if you're Ted Nugent, just the bad side of it.
Right. And so when you're playing, let's say at a bar, and you're playing for people, and they're really getting off and stuff like that, tell me how that fits with your view of the world and stuff like that. I mean, I guess it's a good thing for people to just feel good and listen to music. And that's a positive. Hopefully maybe they'll go out and do something good with that good feeling.
It ripples out, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, especially in these times, value is placed on productivity, and get as little sleep as possible and produce.
Yeah.
So somebody else can get rich off of it usually. I know people that do quite well, and I'm very happy for them, and I feel very satisfied with what I've got also. But playing music for people live, like no matter what's going on in their lives, they can go out for a minute and forget about it and just feel good for a minute. And I think that's kind of the basis for healing. Society is healing ourselves. You can't give from an empty well. You can't give when there's nothing left. So I think kind of the basis for healing everything is learning to love yourself and feeling good. And hopefully for those moments in life, music, that people can forget about the bills that they owe or the grief that they're feeling, or even exercise that grief. That's one of the reasons that I am really attracted to New Orleans music, or older blues, older jazz music, is it takes really like kind of dark content, but sometimes pairs it with major key chordal progression.
Yeah.
So you really process the grief and you really get it out, and especially in New Orleans, you dance it out.
Yeah.
At a jazz funeral, you do a dirge until the person, or minor key, slow, sad, spiritual tune until you put the person into the ground, and then the band strikes up and you celebrate their life. I think we hold so much grief inside of us and aren't taught what to do with it, where to put those emotions. And from that physical oppression of our own personal emotions can arise hate and violence, and just perpetuate all of the things that I think keep us down and make us feel bad about ourselves and other people.
I appreciate all of that. It's good to hear. If people want to hire you or see your music, where do they go? Here's your
I have a website that I'm very bad at keeping up.
Okay.
But it goes to one of my emails, and it's www.meschiya.com. That's M for Mary, E, S for Sally, C for Charlie, HIYA.com. That's what I say to people over the telephone.
Cool. And so we're going to get to hear some music today, and you're nice enough to let the old guy play with you.
You sound fantastic. I'm happy to play with you.
I appreciate that. So what are we going to do first?
Also, I'm really, like, ageism really bums me out, too.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm 45, and, like, I basically have no value as a woman anymore, you know?
Yeah, well, wait till you hit 74.
I will have to wait.
You're still sexy.
I hope to wait.
I'm not.
It's a matter of opinion, Alan, I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm happy to have you here. Here's a guitar for you.
Okay.
And what are we going to do? What are we going to do first?
Well, I thought I'd do a little bit of a cross section, because here in Asheville I have my Americana country band where I write most of the material, and then jazz band that does like the well, the stuff I've been doing for the last 20 years, and then hopefully learning some new old tunes. So we're going to do a couple that I wrote, and then a Bessie Smith tune from 1927 about a flood in Mississippi.
Oh, fantastic.
Thought it might be fitting.
All right. Exactly.
So this first one's called If I Was Only on Your Mind.
Okay.
If I was only on your mind, wouldn't be lonely all the time. Say your feelings, they haven't changed. I'm left standing in the rain. All these lovely, lonely nights. Was you used to hold me tight? My desires, they wouldn't be fine. I was only on your mind. Filled with light, love used to come. All my fears would come undone. I was just fine on my own, but you insisted on your throne. Pick up my heart, it's dying slow, and I just have to let you know when the words come, but the love don't last. Well, I'm a fool for holding fast. If I was only on your mind, wouldn't be lonely all the time. Say your feelings, they haven't changed. I'm not standing in the rain. All these lovely, lonely nights. Was you used to hold me tight? My desires, they wouldn't be fine. I was only on your I can't stay. What you do don't match what you say. This great divide keeps rising with the tide, and I just wanna run and hide. This ain't where we used to be. Keeps getting farther from me. King of my heart, the light is gone, and I'm too proud to carry on. If I was only on your mind, wouldn't be lonely all the time. Say your feelings, they haven't changed. I'm not standing in the rain. All these lovely, lonely nights. shout out at the
I'm going to have to adjust my hearing aids.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding around. I think you blew them out. Hello?
Oh, crap.
Oh, my God. You have an amazing voice.
Thank you. Really nice playing, Alan.
All right. This is Luna Leo. Huh?
Yes.
And this is a song you wrote.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic.
1, 2, 3, 1. I'm ocean away from you. One thing holds true. Same moon in the sky will shine down into your eyes. Luna, only your time. Sorrow, I will not refrain, but I'll seek and I'll refuse the blame. All the birds in the sky will be my seeing eyes. Luna, only your time. Come from the dawn of the dusk, comes the darkness, I'll do I must, but I'll be patient and true until it's all through. Luna, only your time. It's bitter and sweet, all the same. Calling the moon by her name. Take these heartstrings on your radiant wings. Take my hopeful lies to this heart. Luna, only your time. Luna, only your time.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. You
What-
sound awesome.
What's that about? What's the song about?
Oh, well, at the time I was dating a Scottish gypsy jazz guitarist named Leo.
Ah.
So his name was the inspiration, but I was walking on the levee in New Orleans and the moon was out in the day. And then it just struck me. Yeah. I'm trying to do a new method of songwriting where I sit down and consciously write songs instead of them like hitting me out of nowhere and me having to just like scribble it down when it comes, you know.
Yeah. And this next one you can do is a blues tune, right?
Yes. This one was written by Bessie Smith in 1927 about a flood in Mississippi.
Okay.
And it's called The Backwater Blues.
Okay.
2, 1, 2. When it rained 5 days and the sky turned black as night. It rained 5 days and the sky turned black as night. Trouble's going on in the loneliest calls me, pack my things and go. Yeah. My house fell down here. I can't hear no more. No. Can't move no more. I can't move no more. Well, there ain't no place for this ball. How to go? Hi.
Meschiya Lake. Phenomenal presence, singer, songwriter, and a gift to Asheville. Thank you so
Aw.
much. It's been
Thank
great
you.
having you on the show, and maybe we'll have you back sometime again.
I'd love that. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Take care, and we'll see you for episode 10. Stay tuned.
Peace and love. Bye.